The time has come, comrades. We'll be preparing Ljutenica for the winter, and we'll use its power to summon the almighty filius Ljutenica, which is roughly translated to a slice of bread with Ljutenica on top. It doesn't sound quite spectacular, but I assure you it's epic, and every Slav loves to eat it. Ljutenica basically is a vegetable relish or chutney, can be spicy, can be sweet, and it's very popular in the Balkans, specifically in Bulgaria, Macedonia and Serbia. The ingredients are peppers, tomatoes of course, aubergines, onions, carrots, garlic and some spices, as you will see.
Трябва да има от всичко.
It also comes in varieties. It can be smooth, it can be with little chunks of vegetables in it, and as I said, it can be spicy. Actually, the word Ljutenica, the first part of it, luto, is spicy in our language. And in the recent years, by recent years I mean the recent 25 to 30 years, the industry of Ljutenica flourished. Not only Ljutenica, Ajvar too, which is another relish. Now they produce it in factories, and thanks to that we can export some of it, and it gathered some popularity around the world.
Абе, не е като домашната.
Typically we prepare huge amounts of it and close it in jars for the winter, and for best results, if you have a yard, you have some big pot where you boil the Ljutenica in open fire, and you can prepare a lot of it at the same time, but I don't have a yard at the moment, so I'll show you how to prepare it very easily at home. And of course we'll prepare a small quantity, as I don't have this huge pot in an open fire. We will also close it in jars, so we have some for the winter times. And with that said, let's see how to prepare the Ljutenica. The Slav shopping list for Ljutenica includes 1.5 kg red peppers, should be red at all costs, 1 kg of tomatoes, any type would work, but search for sweeter ones. We will need 2 big onions, 7 to 8 garlic cloves, so yeah, we can banish the vampires. 500 grams of eggplant. This is one huge eggplant. It was around 600 grams, so it would be okay. 500 grams of carrots, some white wine, sunflower oil of course, sugar, salt, pepper and cumin. You'll find the right amounts in the description below the video. As we have the products, let's see how to prepare Ljutenica for the winter. The hardest part would be to clean our vegetables first. There are a lot of them present, so let's get started. Get the peppers first and remove all the seeds. I don't like them in my Ljutenica. Make sure to find nice meaty red peppers which are sweet. You can also add a few chilies if you're into spicy food. After some time we're rewarded with a lot of cleaned red peppers. Continue with the onions, just peel their the thing you won't like to eat, and we're rewarded with a nice big juicy onions, which will bring a nice taste to our Ljutenica. Banish some vampires from the neighborhood by peeling some garlic. You can add more if you have a lot of vampires around, but 7 to 8 cloves should suffice our need.
Vlad babushka, blah blah blah.
Add more if you enjoy it. After that, prepare the eggplant and start preparing the tomatoes. There are tomatoes we use for our jars for the winter. I think they're Roma tomatoes, but they're grown in Bulgaria. Remove all the green parts from the tomato. They taste like wood. And after that, time to peel our carrots. Make sure to put everything into a bowl for the pick as always, or if you have a garden, just use it as a compost. You can feed also your chickens if you have chickens.
Славянският цикъл на живота.
With that, our veggies are almost ready. Now we should cut them into big size chunks. Tomatoes I cut typically in 6 pieces. After that we'll cut the carrots, just make some big cubes. No need for extra special cutting techniques or shapes or size. Continue with the onions. Again, no need to be precise, big pieces would do the job perfectly fine. The garlic also, don't worry, we'll process everything after that. That's why pieces do not matter here, and their size and shape. Get the aubergine in. As we have a ton of vegetables, I'll start adding some of the liquids and the spices now, so I can mix everything better. After that we'll add our other part of the vegetables. First I will add in 50 to 60 milliliters of wine,
И без вино става, дядо, го изпие.
the same amount of vinegar, and I will just sprinkle it all over. Adding sunflower oil and some sugar, around 100 grams of sugar, but you can add a little bit less if you don't enjoy the sweeter taste. The sunflower oil is around 100 milliliters also.
Може и повечко, ако ви харесва.
Sprinkle salt all over. After that you can add more depending on your taste, but you cannot remove it if you put too much salt in. Mix very well and leave aside. After that we'll focus on cutting our peppers and add them into the tava. I found a garlic clove hiding in the pepper. Cut it too, I guess. The bigger tava you have, by the way, the more lutenica you can prepare.
Моята събира 10 кила наведнъж.
And by the way, typically we make lutenica in an open fire, in huge pots, but this is a nice way to prepare it at home in the oven. If you do not have a yard where you can cook on an open fire, just use that method. Mix everything with the peppers and now it's time to bake it. Look at these colors, by the way, perfect. For the veggies to cook better, we'll need some aluminum foil so they can get soft by the steam. Make some tiny holes all over the foil so the steam can run away a little bit. Prepare your oven, put it on 220 Celsius or 440 Fahrenheit, I guess, and bake for 2 hours or until our veggies are soft. After that, remove the foil and mix everything well and bake it without it. You should bake until the veggies are charred and there is no liquid left. Only the sunflower oil should be the remaining liquid at this point. Now it is time to process everything. Time for processing will depend on your taste again. I like small vegetables chunks, so I won't process it a lot of time.
С парченца е по-добре да знаете.
But if you like extra soft lutenica, process it even more, and you can even put it through a sifter so you can remove some chunks and peels from the vegetables, but I just enjoy them in. We haven't added any spices, but we'll do that soon, don't worry. Transfer our processed vegetables into a bowl. Now we need to process 2 or 3 times because this is a lot of vegetables. Prepare some jars. I have totally random ones from stuff that I bought through the year in jars. When everything is in the bowl and is processed, add in some more salt if you want, add the pepper and add in some cumin, as much as you like. Transfer your lutenica into jars. I got around 1.7 kg of lutenica and managed to fit it in 5 jars. And yeah, if you want to prepare it for the winter, we need to boil the jars so they can sterilize. I'll leave one aside as my pot is small and I'll eat it right away. We just put some water on top. I put hot water. It should cover the jars all over. Add to the stove and when the water starts boiling, measure 15 minutes. After 15 minutes, everything should be done. The Slav difficulty level, I would say 3 out of 5. It is very easy. Just watch out for boiling the jars and make sure they are sealed well. I give it 3 out of 5 as there are a ton of things to cut and peel and the cooking time is long. On the other hand, it's quite easy to prepare. Now let's do a taste test. Okay, comrades, time to open our last jar of lutenica. This is around 4 weeks after I have prepared it initially, so now it's time to prepare our almighty filius lutenica. Yep, you just take a bread slice, put some lutenica on top, be generous, the more the better. And it looks kinda plain, so I'll show you how we actually eat it. Of course with some nice feta cheese, or in my case Bulgarian white cheese, which is better than feta cheese.
Совче сирене е най-хубаво.
And you just sprinkle it on top of your filia or your bread slice in English. And this is the almighty filius lutenica. Now let's give it a taste test. Now let's take a bite and yeah, you can get messy with that. If I can describe it with one word only, this is perfection incarnate. This was my breakfast a lot of the times when I was a kid. Now I don't eat it so often, but again, every time I eat it, it's just It's just perfect. Just 3 things and it's perfect. I hope you like this Ljutenica video. If you prepare it, make sure to write in the comments. Also, if you prepare something similar, I would be interested to see what it is. And that's basically it. We've prepared some Ljutenica for the winter. I ate it before the winter, which is pure classic. I hope you like this Slavic goodness. It's an old-time Slavic classic, so I hope you liked it. And that's basically it from me, comrades. Slav you next time.
И да си направите лютеница и